Have you ever asked yourself, what are you willing to give up to move to the next level? Whether that next level is promotion, expanding a business, or continuing your education, what are you willing to give up to move up? This video is about learning the mindset of giving up to go up. Hello, my name is Christopher Houston, and today I want to talk to you about trade-offs. If you found value in the videos I produce, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I learned about trade-offs at an early age. I was in the 10th grade in high school. You see, I made a decision to go into the military, specifically the Air Force, when I was in the 10th grade. Of course, you go into the military, you give up a lot of things. You give up a little bit of freedom. You give up being able to decide where you're going to live, and you give up control of your salary. What freedoms did I give up when I joined the military? Well, you give up the freedom of being able to say, I'm not going to work today. One of the hardest things I had to learn when I left the military and became a civilian was the fact that people working for me had the option of not coming to work. You see, in the military, you're either on approved leave, you're at work, or you're at sick call. There's no fourth option. When you join the military, you give up the option of where you want to live. Right now, I live in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, because I want to live here. I didn't get orders here, although I've lived here before. But the first place the Air Force sent me was San Antonio, Texas, for basic training. The second place I lived was Biloxi, Mississippi. The third place was, check this out, Fairbanks, Alaska, where 40 degrees below zero was normal in the wintertime. In the military, you give up the ability to control your salary. You see, in the military, you have a pay chart. You get a base pay based on your rank. You get an allowance for housing based on your rank, and you get an allowance for food based on your dependents. I know what you're thinking, Chris, you gave up too much. Remember, this video is about trade-offs. I will discuss the trade-offs later on in the video. Just keep watching. Let's talk about the 8 truths about trade-offs. Truth number 1, trade-offs are available to all of us throughout our lives. Unsuccessful people make bad trade-offs, average people make few trade-offs, and successful people make good trade-offs. I heard a saying once, and I never forgot it. Don't have a poor mentality, P-O-O-R. Poor meaning passing over opportunities routinely. Truth number 2, we must see trade-offs as opportunities for growth. We may not always get what we want, but we always get what we choose. 2 questions to ask in evaluating the trade-off that you're going to make. What are the pluses and minuses of the trade-off? And will you go through this change, or will you grow through this change? Truth number 3, trade-offs force us to make difficult personal changes in ourselves. When you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Change is always possible, so remember these truths about change. Change is personal. To change your life, you need to change. Change is possible. Everyone can change, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't. And change is profitable. You will be rewarded when you change. Now, that's if you make the right changes. Truth number 4, the loss of the trade-off is usually felt before the gain. Now, this is one of the reasons why people fear change. Have you ever heard that saying, no pain, no gain? Well, here's a quote I heard, and it stuck with me. While you're looking for the elevator to success, I will be halfway up the stairs. Truth number 5, most trade-offs can be made at any time. Trade-offs such as better health, better habits, and more education can be done along the way. It is rarely too late to make a change, so no matter how old you are, you can still make a change. Truth number 6, a few trade-offs come only once. This is critical in developing your own potential. Missing a possible one-time trade-off may mean you have to change great plans. In other words, opportunity may not come around again. I heard this all the time, especially when I first retired in 2006. People my age, and I was 38 at the time, would say, Chris, man, I wish I had gone in the military like you did. You're so lucky. You get a retired check. You get those retirement checks, VA checks. And I would say, yeah, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Truth number 7, the higher you climb, the tougher the trade-off. The skills that got you to where you are right now are not the skills that will get you to the next level. Marshall Goldsmith wrote a book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. The book talked about results can come from practicing in basic behaviors like listening well and thinking before you speak. Also, thinking before you act would be a good basic principle to learn. Truth number 8, trade-offs never leave us the same. The fear factor of change is that I may have to be different. Yes, you will have to be different. Here's a question. Do you really want to be the same? Do you want to be the same as you were in high school? Do you want to be the same as you were 10 years ago? Well, for that matter, do you want to be the same as you were last year? Well, I can tell you the answer for me is no. I like to say I'm excellent and getting better. In the beginning of this video, I talked about what were my trade-offs. I gave up a little bit of freedom. I gave up being able to decide where I could live. I gave up control of my salary. Because of the time I spent in the military, today I get to decide where I want to work, whether I want to work from home or not. Of course, we still have to answer to someone even though we get to make those decisions. Even if you're a business owner, you still have to answer to your customers, and if you're a great leader, you have to answer to your employees also. However, I have a lot of freedom in my current position. As a matter of fact, I've had this type of freedom since 2009. The military told me I had to live in Mississippi, Texas, Alaska. Now I get to choose where I want to live. I didn't look at it as being a bad thing. I looked at it as being able to experience living in different states and different places. Now, as I said, I live in beautiful Hawaii. And as a matter of fact, I wrote this talk for this video standing outside waiting for my daughter to finish her volleyball practice. She plays on a club team here in Hawaii. Here are a few pics of the scenery of where I wrote this talk. I like this trade-off. I mentioned giving up the ability to control my salary. Today, because of my military experience and my education, I have control of my time and salary. The skills that I've learned in the military helped me and my wife have a great life. The skills helped us generate a household income that's in the top 5% of household incomes in the entire United States. The trade-off I got from being in the military and giving up those things I mentioned is my education. The military paid for approximately $200,000 in education for me. According to the website educationaldata.com or .org, the average cost of a bachelor's degree is $35,000 per year. The average cost of a master's degree is about $66,000 a year. I have a bachelor's degree and 3 master's degrees, all paid for because I made the trade-off. That's well over $200,000 in education, and that does not count the education and leadership education I got from serving in the military. I'll take that trade-off any day. Lastly, I learned structure and discipline in the military. I know, no one likes rules, structure, or discipline. Well, that's until you have children. John Maxwell was quoted saying, "Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing." It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how many opportunities you receive. If you want to grow, consistency is the key. In my opinion, the only way to stay consistent is to have structure and discipline in your life. In this video, I've outlined some of the trade-offs that I've made in my life. All of those trade-offs paid off. I mentioned I gave up a little bit of freedom, and now I have the freedom to make decisions at work. I gave up being able to decide where I'm going to live, and now I can live almost anywhere I want to. And I gave up control of my salary, and now my household income is in the top 5% of household incomes in America. In my opinion, if you embrace the idea that trade-offs are a good thing, you'll be on your way to success. I appreciate you watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. My name is Christopher Houston. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.